Soaring through the skies, Donald Swift here, and I'm back with you with another video. This video is, what if Deku was a Todoroki and had an half and half quirk? Wait, what if Deku was a Todoroki and he had nastu dragneel's powers? So, last time we left off with Izuku becoming class president. So, we're going to kick off with doing the USJ, doing the USJ arc, as well as doing maybe an interaction with Izuku being in the hospital and that. Don't know. We might do the first part of the UA Sports Festival. Can never tell. Okay, so let's begin. So we start off the next day. Everyone's in class, all chatting up, and the door opens and Mr. Aizawa comes in. He says, "Okay, shut up everyone. I have important news to tell you. Today, like I've stated before, we are going to the USJ, also seen as the unforeseen unforeseen simulation joint. This is where you'll be doing your hero rescue training with me, another hero, and All Might. So I want everyone to get into their hero costumes and meet outside. Then we'll drive into a bus and go all the way to the USJ. Do I make myself clear?" "Yes, sir," as everyone goes out with their to change. As Izuku and Izuku's group is walking with him, as him and Gray are busy talking, he says, "Gray, I bet you that I can save more people with my fire than you can with your eyes." "Ah, you think so, do you?" "Yep, I think so." "Okay, then let's make a bet. Let's see how many people we can save. I bet I can save more with my eyes than you can with your fire." "Okay, so what are we betting?" "The loser has to do the others bidding." "Oh, I get it. Okay, I'll do it." As when they're busy talking, Urza and Jovia are talking to each other, and Jovia says to Urza, "Do you think we should try and stop them?" Then Urza says no. Let them do their fun. This will teach one of them at least a valuable lesson of making bets. "I hope you're right about this, Urza-sama." As we see Todoroki and Momo talking, then right next to Urza and Jovia, as Momo asks Todoroki, "Is your brother okay?" "When he's like this, he is not my brother." Then Izuku heard that shout out as he has his right hand on his heart. "How could you say such a thing? I helped you in everything. How could you do this to me?" As he runs away, "You're the worst little brother ever." As he's running, fake crying down the halls, making fake crying sounds. "Worst brother ever." As everyone's set drops at that. As Momo says, "Do you think he's okay?" "Yeah, he'll get over it. He can say I'm the worst little brother ever." "Are you sure?" "Yeah. He's just over dramatic. He knows I love him." "Oh, you admitted that you love him. When did I do that?" "Just now. I never did." Okay. Well, I have to go there to make sure that he doesn't burn down the whole place." See ya. As Shoto goes off, as Grace says, "Yeah, and if he does, I want to be able to hit that flame ball." That's what Grace says as he runs after Shoto. As all the girls are there and they look at each other and they say, "Why are we dating them again?" says Jovia, as Momo says, I have no clue. Then Urza says, maybe we'll find out someday. As that's all of that interaction. They change, then they go out, and then Ira says to Izuku, shouldn't we be forming a nice neat line so that we can enter the bus orderly? Then Izuku says, it doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter? Ida said. Just wait and see. As they enter the bus, Ida sees that they're not sitting in alphabetical order. They can sit wherever they want to. And says, so this is what he meant. As they sit down, as they're doing that, Aizawa says, it's going to take us a few, maybe 1 to 2 hours to get there. Maybe sometime in between. Can't know. So chat amongst yourselves and don't bother to wake me up unless we're there. Do I make myself clear? Yes, it's Aizawa sensei. You got it. We won't wake you up, sir. Were the replies from everyone. As everyone he's sleeping in his sleeping bag, everyone's talking about their quirks and what they do. And then they come to Izuku. They ask him what is his quirk. Izuku says his quirk is called Fire Dragon Slayer. It allows him to use Fire Dragon Slayer powers in ways that he can produce flames from his body. He can consume flames to grow stronger. He can strengthen his body. His senses are enhanced. He doesn't overheat from flames. There are also modes to them so that he can grow stronger using his mode. As they say, as they come to Gray, he says that his quirk is called Ice Make. Whenever he places his hand together, he can make anything from ice. It can be ordinary ice, glaciers, or he could shape it into something which he wants. And then they say, oh, okay. And then they come to Jovia. She says her quirk is called Water. She is able to manipulate, control, and shape water, as well as her being water herself. As they say, okay. As then it came to Urza, she says her quirk is equip. She's able to design armors and she's able to change it into them. And those armors which she creates give specific powers that she can use. Then they say, oh. Then they come to Todoroki. You know how it is with Todoroki, as well as Momo. And then they say, oh, okay. And while they're done with that, they just talk about random things. So yeah. So they're just talking about random things, and then they come up, and then Aizawa says, okay, everyone shut up. We're here. As he says that, as everyone shut up, they get down. As they're getting down, the bus closes and goes and parks somewhere else. As they walk into the USJ doors, and then they see Hero 13. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. Don't even ask me. And then Uraka fangirls all about how she loves the Hero 13 since their quirks are basically the same, having to deal with space and all that stuff. So yeah. As 13 says, hello students. Today you're going to be doing your rescue training here in the USJ. Also stands for the Unforeseen Simulation Joint. And then she looks at herself and asks, "Where's All Might?" And then he raises up 3 fingers. Then he or she nods. I think it's a he. Gonna say it's a he. Don't know. Never mind. And then she says, "Today you'll be learning everything you can to rescue in specific zones, like the fire zone, the landslide zone, the water zone, the frozen zone, the mountain zone, and all those type of zones. I don't know all of them. As she's saying, as she says that, but before we begin, I want to remind everyone that quirks can be dangerous, and and only when used properly will they not cause harm to the people you're trying to save. So always proceed with caution while rescuing people. As she finished, a portal opened up as Kirishima looked down and said, and saw villains coming out and said, "Ah, we even get to face fake villains." As as Aizawa looked down and said, "Those aren't any fake villains. They're real. 13, watch the kids. Don't make sure none of them get hurt. I'll deal with these villains." But sir, you can't take all of them on by yourself. And who said I can't? I am not a pro hero for nothing, am I? He says as he puts down his goggles as he jumps down and uses his capture gear to face the villains, wrapping one with them, using his eraser quirk on the majority, then kicking him in the face, and then pushing him to the ground, then uses the other string of his scarf, then ties up a person's body, then swings him, hits another guy, and then he uses them as a jump pose as he goes and uses his feet to push a guy's head into the floor. Then he uses his capture gear to make some people fall flat onto the ground as then he kicks them into a pile with the rest of them. Then he keeps on going on, fighting, punching, capturing them, swinging them into each other, beating them up like that. But while that was happening, Kirigiri opened a portal behind them as he was coming out. As the teen tried to take him down and all that, but then he just reversed her quirk on her or him, whoever, and his or her suit got broken. As Kirishima and Bakugo tried to fight him, they did manage to damage him on that thingy around his neck. Don't know what that is, but yeah, they were able to do that. And then as he teleports them to away, as he does that to some of the other classmates, as Izuku, where should I let him land? Oh, I got it. He lands in the water zone, same as canon. Nothing actually changed. As he lands there, he lands in the water, as in the villains are trying to come and attack him, but then he raises up the heat in the water and starts to boil them. The villains try to stray away from this as Floppy uses her tongue and pulls him into the ship. As he says, "Thanks for that, Sue." She says, "No problem." As then Netta says, "We're so doomed, we're doomed, we're doomed. I can't die. I can't die. I haven't even touched girl's boobs yet. I'm still a virgin. Why? Why? Why?" And then Izuku just slaps him in the face and says, "We're not gonna die. We just have to think of something to make our to so that we can make our way out of this situation. I have a plan. I'll use my fire to launch you, Sue, over the side, over the over to the side of the beach with Mineta with you. While that's happening, I'll raise up the water temperature so that the villains can't stand it and they pass out. After that, I'll jump over to you. Then we go and help the others. Do I make myself clear? All clear. Good." As then they proceed to do that as planned. As it works out, they start to go to the main center as they see Aizawa getting beat. Now we go to what Aizawa was doing. He was busy fighting villains, and then Shigaraki said, then he was about to disintegrate. Shigaraki was about to disintegrate him, but then Aizawa used his quirk and said on him, and he couldn't use his quirk again. As Shigaraki says, "Ah, Eraserhead, a true hero indeed, not relying on your quirk, but too bad. Nomu, get him! As then this big bird creature comes out of the portal and then starts to beating, beating Aizawa and doing all that. Now when we go to what Gray, Jovia, and Urza were doing as they landed in a rock slide area, as then Gray says, "Dang it! Now we have to fight these people. It's better just to come out." That is true, as it says. Requip Heaven's Will. As she transforms into Heaven's Will. As Jovia gets into a fighting stance and Gray gets into his ice making stance, and then he says, "Okay, let's finish this quickly so that we can go and help Izuku." Do I make myself clear? Yes, Gray Summer. Alright, Gray. And then he says, "Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3. Ah, Heaven's Will." As she shoots her sword, injuring the villains, hitting them on their arms, giving them scratches, giving them slashes and all that stuff, making them feel extreme pain, and then switching into her flight armor so that she could move faster. As she did that, she went and attacked all of them with fast speeds, the ones which he was attacking, hitting them in their ribs, stomach, abdomen, kicking them in the leg, behind the knee, in the shoes, kicking them in the head, punching them in the face, the nose, and all that stuff. While she was doing that, Juvia was using her body being water to her advantage, making the attacks pass through her, while also using water to bind them, and then use water bubbles around their heads to make them drown. While she did that, when they couldn't do anything anymore, she released the water bubbles and still kept the restraints, as then they was just knocked out unconscious. As Grace used, he said, "Ice make cannon," as he made a cannon and shot an ice cannon ball at them. As then it hit the ground, it started to freeze and then froze a group of villains. As then he said, "Ice make lance," as then he makes lances. As then when they touch someone, they immediately froze. Not their head though. Yeah, but then you know what I mean. As that happened, so that was what's happening over there. As yeah, then with Todoroki, he landed with Momo and said, "Momo, I'll handle them. You try to see if there's any other people here with us." As she says, "Okay," as he starts to freeze them up without even giving them patting an eye at them. As she says that she gave an earpiece to him before she left. As she says through the earpiece that she has found Kaminari and Jiro, and she says that they may need his help because they're being surrounded by villains. And then he said he's on his way, as he makes an ice slide, as he starts to slide there. While that's happening with Momo, Jiro, and Kaminari, Kaminari did his AoV attack, injuring some of them, but then didn't do much. As Jiro starts to use her speakers on her arms to blast the villains, as Momo uses her staff, hitting them as she trained precisely with them, thanks to Urza helping her with her weapons so that she would be able to use them properly. So yeah, then there were a few villains left, but then by that time, Shoto came and he froze them, as he says that they should go and meet up at the center, at the stairs, as then they go back. And then the rest of the others that I didn't change were all in canon. So yeah, so you know what happens there. And now we go back to Izuku, who is seeing Aizawa getting beat by the Nomu. And then Shigaraki sees them and he says, well, since All Might isn't here, I know a way to get him here. What if he saw one of his precious students dying? He said as he rushed to Tsu, as his, as Aizawa was able to cancel out his quirk before he could touch her, as Izuku hit his abdomen with a flame dragon, with a fire dragon's iron fist to the abdomen, and he then flew, but the Nomu catch him in time. Then he said to Sue and Mineta to take Mr. Aizawa so that he can handle this. Then she said that he's not strong enough to handle this yet, and then he said, "Didn't I tell you, my power has molds, two to be exact. Yes, but I never told you that these molds make me stronger, did I? No? Good. Now take Mr. Aizawa so I can use that mold so that I don't injure you or him. Do I make myself clear? Yes." And then they take Mr. Aizawa back up there. As by the time they make it back up there, they see Momo, Shoto, Urza, Chagray, Jovia, Kamnari, and Jiro all coming. As Momo makes a first aid kit to bandage up and patch up Aizawa as best she could, as she tried to patch the hole that 13 had too. As then the others also start to watch what Izuku's gonna do. As he said, "You made a big mistake. First, you separated and attacked my friends and family. Second, you attacked my teacher, who is trying his best to help us become the better heroes of the future. Third, you tried to kill someone. Now," he says, as you saw flames coming off him, as there was sparks coming off him too. "I'm gonna give you a hell of a voltaic beat down. Lightning flame dragon mode," he says, as lightning starts to blast off him too. As he says, "Oh ho," as then Shigaraki says, "Oh ho ho, a major player has arrived. Nomu, go get him," he shouts, as then the Nomu goes to Izuku, but Izuku also rushes at the Nomu at higher speeds than he usually would, thanks to the lightning helping his body move faster. As then they start to punch each other. Izuku using Iron Fist, Lightning Flame Dragon's Iron Fist, Lightning Flame Dragon's Talon, and all those basic moves. Lightning Flame Dragon Head, Sword Horn, and all that, trying to attack him. Lightning Flame Dragon, Flaming Vortic Flame Elbow, and all that stuff. He would punch the Nomu several times in the ribs, but then he would hear cracks, but then they would always, as the bones would always regenerate. Then he used one massive lightning flame dragon iron fist at its hand, and its hand blew off, as the fire would make sure that it wouldn't be able to regenerate. By that time, Izuku would notice this and would say, "Now you made a big problem. I found out a weakness about your normal thing, and I'm going to use it to its fullest potential," he says. As he does that, he starts going on a barrage of moves using Lightning Flame Dragon's Iron Fist, Lightning Flame Dragon's Silent, Lightning Flame Dragon's Flaming Elbow, Lightning Flame Dragon's Sword Horn, Lightning Flame Dragon Wing Attack, Lightning Flame Dragon Roar, and all that sort of stuff. Then, while you're doing this, he was able to make the normal pieces of the Nomu's body come off and off and off and off, as they wouldn't start to regenerate. And then Shigaraki would say, "No, no, you're cheating. No, you can't do that. My Nomu's supposed to be able to kill All Might." He said, "Maybe then I'm just stronger than All Might. Time to end this." He said, "Now, Dragon Slayer's secret art." As then, when the others hear this, they'll say, "It's Dragon Slayer's secret art." And then, as I says, it's a move. There are powerful moves which Izuku is able to do. As then they nod at that. As then they look back. By this time, Aizawa gained a little consciousness as he looks at what Izuku's doing. As then we go back to what Izuku's doing. Dragon Slayer's secret art. Voltic. Dragon Slayer's secret art. Voltic electric sword. Voltic electric sword. Voltic electric. Voltic flame sword. What is it now? I got it. Dragon Slayer's secret art. Voltic flame blade. Voltic Phoenix flame blade. Yeah. As then an image of a phoenix in the fire comes out as lightning charges over it, as it makes a pathway around the Nomu, going in, out, going all around it, then finally uppercutting it, making it fly into the sky, as then it explodes with flames all going all over, as static can be seen too. When that ended, they heard the door open and said, "I am here." That was All Might. Gonna take a sip of water. As then he sees everything going on there. As he sees that he sees Aizawa and 13 injured. He sees the students there except for Izuku. Then he looks down and sees Izuku standing up against Shigaraki and Kurogiri. Then Kurogiri says to Shigaraki, "Young master, let's go. We don't have the Nomu anymore, and All Might is here." Oh, as Shigaraki scratches his neck violently, he says, "Okay, whatever, Kurogiri, let's go." As he makes a portal, as then they leave the rest of the villains there, as they make their way out of there. As then the rest of the teachers come in to see everything, to see what happened. And then the kids start to report about everything. The police came, the ambulance came to fetch 13 and Aizawa. And then, yeah, that's all happening. The kids are giving their information. They're talking about what they did with the villains, what Izuku did, how the fighting went, and all that. And then while the teachers are inside looking at the incident, Midnight saying that a villain with a warp quirk is rare. They have a villain with a warp quirk, and warp quirks are very rare, and all that stuff. You know, the canon thing. As then then the police say that they should go to Recovery Girl for a checkup just in case, since they don't have any major injuries, but they might have some internal ones, or just to make a checkup so that they're all fine. As they nod at this, and then they go there. Everyone's done. They go back to the changing room. They change, go back to class, take their things, and head home, and all that. Being told that they have a week off because of the whole incident and that. So that's where I'm going to be ending it off. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to be posting another video right after this. So yeah, I'll see you later, and bye bye. Baby.